Okay guys, so what we're doing today is we're going to do a pretty standard warm-up, some seated stuff and then some sun salutations. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through 6 poses with you, which I'd then like you to go away and take a photograph of yourself or a little video in each of those poses, and then either post them for us all to see or just send them to me. And then you can use that to then look at how you're improving. So you can then do it sort of like every week or every month, depending on how much yoga you're doing. So if you'd like to just take a comfortable seated position, give yourself a bit of height if you need it. So I should, yeah. Okay, so if you just like to take a nice breath in, gently close your eyes and just relax your arms on your thighs. Just take a few gentle breaths in and out through your nose and settle in. And then if you take your fingers and just place them on the floor next to your bottom. And as you breathe in, just use your arms to help to elongate your back, lifting your chest and your shoulders back. And then as you exhale, just try and keep that height that you've created. We'll do that a few times. So inhaling up, lifting your chest up, your shoulders back, and your shoulder blades down your back, and exhale. Inhaling, grow, and exhale. Inhaling, grow, and exhale. And then just carefully taking your fingertips and away and putting your palms back onto your thighs. Okay, so bringing your arms up, fingers pointing straight upwards, and slowly and deliberately bring them back down as you exhale. Inhaling up, palms towards each other. Exhale, turn your palms and bringing your arms down. One more time, up. And exhaling down. And then taking your left arm up, leaning over to the right, fingertips on the floor, and leaning over and just stretching those fingertips over towards the wall and just peeking up underneath your left armpit to make sure that you don't collapse in your chest, keeping your chest open. Inhale back to center and exhale down to the left, looking up under your right armpit. Inhaling up and exhaling back down to the right. Inhaling up and one last time inhaling back down to the left. Just stretching that arm towards the wall, back to center, and release your hands. So this time, if you'd like to bring your arms up and then take your left hand, place it on your right thigh or knee, bringing your right hand down behind you and breathing in, giving yourself some height. And as you exhale, just gently turn to the right. Don't go to your full extent, just a gentle turn. And then inhaling, coming round and placing your right hand on your left thigh and your left hand behind you and doing a gentle twist round to the left. Looking round to the left. If your neck's sore, then don't do that. And then exhale back to center. And then this time, if you want to place it and go round to the right again, left hand on your right knee, hand behind you, grow. And exhale, turn. Peeling back that right shoulder. Inhale, grow. And exhale, turn. Inhale, back to center. And then taking your right hand onto your left thigh, left hand behind you, inhale, grow. And exhale, turn. Peel back that left shoulder. Inhale, grow. And exhale, turn. And then slowly and carefully come back to center. Excuse me. If it's all right. And then taking your palms, take your arms behind you with your palms facing each other, and interlace your fingers, and then pull your arms back towards the wall behind you, like this. And pull your palms towards each other. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And if it's comfortable, just look up. Take a big inhale, chest open and up. And then as you exhale, just release. Round your shoulders, backwards, forwards. And then this time, same again, but I want you to interlace your fingers in the other way, which will feel really weird. Pull those hands back. Inhale, lifting your chest, pulling those hands back towards the wall behind you, and release. And then breathing in, grow. Now, I don't want you to go forward if it involves your back bending. I don't want you to round your spine. I want you to keep your spine straight. If you can come forward without rounding your spine, just walk them forward on the floor, looking up. Keep looking up. Keep looking up. And then when you get to a point where you feel like your back's starting to round, back up a tiny bit and release your head. Just gently nod and yes and no with your head, just to make sure that your neck's really relaxed. Fingertips on the floor. And if you want to, you can just take your fingertips slightly further forward. Just take a few breaths here. So again, as you breathe in, stretch your spine forwards. And as you breathe out, relax down. Inhale, stretch. And exhale, relax down. And then slowly and carefully walking your hands back to a seated position. Okay, if you want to get rid of any props that you've got on your mat, bring yourself towards the front of your mat. You will be doing some forward folds, so you'll need space in front of you. So your feet, your ankles want to be directly underneath your hip joint, okay? So that is hip width. Some people try and go for the outside of the hips. That's too wide. You want your ankles underneath those hip joints. And then your feet, the outer edge of your feet wants to be parallel to the outer edge of your mat, okay? And then taking the shoulder blades, the shoulders back and round, shoulder blades down your back. Engage your legs, just pulling up your thighs towards your groin. Tailbone just gently dropping down. Stand tall, chin parallel to the front, parallel to the floor. And just take a few breaths here just to find stillness. And then as you inhale, bring your arms all the way up, fingertips up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, fold down over your legs, keeping a bend in your knee. Okay, and then inhale, bringing your hands to your shins, stretching your back forward, and exhale, fold. And inhale, bringing your arms all the way up, and exhale, back to mountain pose, shoulders back, palms facing forward, and just take a breath here. Inhaling, arms up, looking up, between your hands, and exhale, fold, keeping soft knees, have them as bent as you need to. Inhale, halfway up, and exhale, fold. Inhale, bringing your hands all the way up, taking a little back bend as you look up between your hands, and exhale, your hands back down to your sides into mountain pose. Take a breath. Next inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, stretching your back, and exhale, fold. And then inhaling all the way up, little back bend, looking up between your hands, and exhale, back to mountain pose. Just take a breath. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up, and then this time, planting your hands on the mat in front of your feet, shoulder width apart, step your feet all the way back into a plank pose. We'll take a breath here to check our alignment. So either your first or your second finger is pointing forwards. Your fingers and your thumb are spread out. You're turning your upper arms outwards so that the eye of your elbow comes forward and engages your shoulders. So you're in a strong plank here. You're not down onto sinking down into your shoulders. You're pushing up. You're on your toes. Your legs are engaged. And then on the next exhale, I want you to bring your knees to the ground, flatten your feet, bring your bum backwards till your elbows hit the floor, and then bring your chest through between your arms and come into a little cobra. And then as you exhale, we'll come into our first down dog. So if you want to just walk your legs out, and each time you send your heel back, just stretch that heel as far towards the ground as you can. Doesn't matter if they don't touch the ground. It just helps to lengthen those muscles on the back of your leg. And then relaxing down, just move your pelvis to the right, give yourself a little side stretch down the left, then to the left, stretch down the right. One more time each side. And then we meet in stillness. And then on your next inhale, come up onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, make sure that the eyes of your elbows are pointing forward, and then just step your feet towards the front of the mat, making sure that they're hip width apart and the outside edge is parallel with the outside edge of the mat. And then inhaling halfway up, hands on shins, and exhale, fold. Inhaling all the way up with a little back bend, looking up, and exhale to mountain pose. Okay, so inhale, arms up, and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway rise. And as you exhale, plant your hands. Remember to spread your fingers, step back. And as you take one more breath, eyes of your elbows pointing forward. And then on your next exhale, knees, elbows, chest and chin to the ground. And as you come forward, slide your legs back and come into a little cobra. And then exhale to down dog. Push up through your arms. Legs as bent as they need to be. I want a straight line from your hands to your bottom. I don't mind whether your legs are straight or bent, or whether you're on your toes or your heels are touching the ground. That's not relevant. And then just let your chest sink. Keep those arms strong. Keep pushing. And then inhaling onto your toes, bending your knees, looking forward, making sure your shoulders are engaged, and step or walk to the front of the mat. Inhaling, halfway rise, and exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, coming into a back bend, and exhale back to mountain pose. Okay, we'll do the same again. So inhaling up, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant your hands and into plank. Check your alignment. Take an extra breath. And then as you exhale, knees, flat feet, coming your bum back, elbows down. Bringing your chest forward until your chest and your chin are on the floor. Slide your legs back and come into a cobra. And then as you exhale, bringing your bum up into a downward facing dog. Move around here as you feel like you want to, or just stay in stillness. It's completely up to you. Push, push, push with those hands. Try and get that length between your fingertips and your seat bones as long as possible. And then as you inhale onto your toes, bending your knees, looking forward, dome your back and step or walk to the front of the mat. Check your foot alignment. Inhale, halfway rise. And exhale, fold. Inhale, soft knees coming all the way up. Little back bend. And exhale to mountain pose. We'll take a breath here. Make sure your shoulders are back and down, your tailbone's gently dropping down, your thighs are engaged. Just close your eyes. Okay, we're going to do one more of these now. So inhaling your arms up, looking up between your hands, and just come straight down into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise, stretching that back forward. And then as you exhale, plant your hands, step back into a strong plank. Take a breath. And then as you exhale, knees, flat feet, come back, elbows on the floor, coming forward between your hands. Chest, chin to the floor, slide your legs back and come into a cobra. We're going to take a breath in this cobra. So the front of your pelvis should be on the floor. If it's not, then just you can go onto your elbows if that's better for you. Okay. Now if you're on your elbows, hands onto the floor and push up into a downward facing dog. And take a few breaths, and again, just stay in stillness or move around, but push those hands, bottom up to the sky, chest sinking. Inhaling onto your toes, bend your knees, looking forward, shoulders engaged, and step forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, keeping knees soft, looking up, little back bend, and exhale to mountain pose. Just take a few breaths here, check your alignment. Just find a bit of stillness. And then breathing in, bring your arms up. And as you exhale, come all the way down. And then I want you to come halfway up. And then as you exhale, take your first 2 fingers of each hand and facing the palms facing each other, put them between your big toe and your first toe and just wrap them around that big toe, okay? Keep your knees soft or bent if you need to. And then just as you come down, your elbows going out, and just use that to just give yourself a gentle pull. Feel that stretch. If you're getting any pain in your lower back, just come up a bit. That pain in your lower back could well be because your hamstring, your muscles here, hamstrings are a bit short, and as they lengthen, that should improve. Just let your head wobble, yes, no, make sure it's all relaxed. And then as you inhale, I want you to, with soft knees, come all the way up, little back bend, and back to mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. And then this time as you exhale, your palms, the back of your hand go on the floor and slide underneath your feet and bring your toes up to your wrist. Again, knees as bent as they need to be. Give yourself a little massage on the back of your hands, with your feet. And then dropping your head, elbows drop to the outside, head loose. Yes, no, wobble it around, make sure it's relaxed, make sure your jaws relax. Take a breath here. Then on your next inhale, release your hands, come up with soft knees all the way up, fingers to the sky, little back bend, and exhale to mountain pose. And just take a breath here. So on your next inhale, bring your arms forward and sit down into your chair. And if you glance down, you should be able to see your big toe and your first toe. And then as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway rise, and then exhale, plant your hands and step back into a strong plank. Take a breath. Now, this time I either want you to do knees, chest, chin, and I'm going to walk the rest of you through a half yoga push-up. So if you're doing a half yoga push-up, I want you to bring your knees to the ground. And I want you to bring your shoulders forward. So you might need to move your hands a little bit closer to you, because then what I want you to do is I want you to come down to a right angle, but with your forearms still upright. Emma, you need to be more forward. Your hands need to be closer. Okay, So we're down, and then you can push your legs back and come up into a cobra. And then exhale to downward facing dog. Well done, that's good. Okay, so as you inhale here, I want you to bring, without changing the position of your pelvis, your right leg up behind you. Okay, and then as you exhale, bring it forward between your hands and turn out your back foot about 45 degrees and come up. And front leg is bent, knee over ankle, arms up, looking up between your hands. We'll take a breath. And then on your next exhale, bringing your hands down with your right foot on the inside and stepping back to a downward facing dog. And then inhaling your left leg up, keeping your pelvis square. And exhale, bring it forward. Turn out your back foot about 45 degrees. Front knee over ankle. And coming up. Looking up between your hands if you've got the balance to do that. Take a breath. Feel like you're ripping the mat apart with your feet. Outside edge of your back foot on the mat. Exhale, hands down. And back to your downward facing dog. Take a few breaths. As you inhale, onto your toes, bend your knees, step forward to the front of the mat into a forward fold. Inhale halfway up, exhale fold. Then inhale, sitting into your chair, bringing your arms forward and up, looking up between your hands. Just check your alignment of your knees. And coming all the way up and back to mountain pose. Take a breath. Inhale, arms forward into chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant your hands and into a strong plank. Take a breath. And then as you exhale, either knees, chest, chin, or follow me, the half yogi push-up, knees down, feet flat. Just make sure that your hands are close enough to you. Come forward so that your arms are in a right angle, and then drop your pelvis, slide your legs back and come into a cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. And exhale, bring it forward, turning out your back foot 45 degrees and coming up into warrior one. Then as you exhale, turn to face the left and bring your arms down, level with your shoulders, fingers pointing front to back, and then looking forward and gazing over that front hand. And then cartwheeling your hands back down and stepping back into a plank. And then as you exhale, either knees, chest, chin, or half yogi push-up. And we meet in down dog. Inhaling the left leg up, and exhale, bring it forward, turning out the back foot, coming into a warrior one. And exhale, hands to front back, turning to the right, gazing over the front hand into warrior two. And then cartwheeling the hands back down into plank, strong, strong plank. And then either knees, chest, chin, or a half yogi push-up. And you're meeting down dog. So we'll take a few breaths here. Just remember you're pushing with your hands. Inhaling onto your toes, bend your knees, looking forward, stepping to the front of the mat and exhaling into a forward bend. Inhale halfway up and exhale, fold. Inhale, coming up into chair and exhale to mountain pose. Just take a few breaths, just find some stillness. Just let your breathing come back to a bit more natural. Okay, so if you'd like to turn side on to the mat, and then I'd like you to spread your legs the outside edges of your feet parallel with the long edges of your mat. So it might feel as if your toes are a little bit in, okay? And then I want you to grow, 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 breathe in, stretch up. And then as you exhale, coming all the way down, straight back, okay? Bend your knees if you need to. I want you to keep that back straight. Fingertips on the floor, or hands, palms on the floor. And just then let your head drop and do a little gentle yes, no nod just to make sure that your neck's relaxed. Take a breath in through your nose. And then as you breathe out, long breath out through your mouth. Another shortish breath through your nose. And a long exhale through your mouth. Okay, we're going to do the first of our 6 poses now. Just grab a block in case you need it. You may not, depends how flexible you are, okay? So if you want to turn towards the front of the mat, and I want you to take your right foot, outside edge of the foot, towards the left of the mat. And then place your knee across. So your leg, okay, the front of your leg should be either parallel with the front of the mat or further back. The further back it is, then the easier this will be, okay? And then I want you to take your back leg and make sure that it's straight out behind you, okay? Now, if this is just impossible, then you might need to just pop a brick underneath your bottom. And then what I want you to do is walk your hands slowly forward and lie down over that leg. This could potentially absolutely kill your arse.
Dislocate your hip.
And it's a really good deep hip stretch, this one. Okay. So, again, just think about your alignment. You want that back leg needs to be going straight back. I want you to dorsiflex your front foot, so that means that it's as if you're stood at right angles to your leg. And I just want you to relax. And when you breathe out, imagine you're breathing out through your pelvis, through that right hip. Just check that it's relaxed. Now, I'm going to give you 3 possibilities on this. I think most of you might find that that's enough for now. But the next option is bringing your hands back and pushing up into a little bit of a back bend. So this starts to stretch the front of your right hip where the psoas muscle is here. Just gives a little bit more of a stretch there. Just make sure you're square. Okay. Right, now I'd like you to plant your hands and step back into a down dog. I will be posting some pictures of these as well as putting up the recording. So hopefully you should be able to find your positions. Right, as you exhale, come forward, bringing your left knee towards the left of the mat and your left foot towards the right of the mat, and stretch that leg back. Now, you may well find that this is totally different from the other side. For me, it really is because of my knee replacement, and I have to put a block underneath my left hip just to support that. Okay, so making sure that back leg is straight behind and just walking forward and relaxing down over that leg. And then if you want a little bit more stretch, walking your hands back, stretching the front of your right hip. Okay, and now just pushing yourself up into a down dog. And just walk your legs out a bit. Okay, for this next one, you're going to need 2 bricks. We have done this before. Okay, so what I want you to do is taking your left knee down to the floor, keeping your toes on the floor, bring your right leg forward so it's straight in front of you, and your bricks either side of your leg. Okay. Straight. So take your bum back so that your hip is directly over your knee, your back hip, your left hip is directly over your back knee. That's right, Emma. And straighten that front leg. Okay, so that's your first position. If that's easy, then the next position is to just tweak that leg forward. Use your toe to take that back leg back. Come up onto your toe and your heel and use those bricks to support you at whatever height you find comfortable. And then if you've got your full splits, then that would be the next pose. So your hips want to be square. And then pushing up through your hands, bring that leg back and into a downward facing dog. Just walk your legs out a bit. And then this time, bringing your right knee to the floor, toes still on the floor, bringing your left leg forward. So your right hip is over your knee and your front leg is straight out behind you on its heel. You need to have to go back, Emma. You need to get your hip right over your knee.
Right.
Okay. And then peel your foot off, your front foot off the ground. That's it. Okay. Pushing up. You might want to go onto your fingertips as well, or take your bricks higher. Okay. And then if you want to take that deeper, and sliding your front leg forward, using your toes to take your back leg back a bit, go up onto your toes and use your bricks, your arms, to take some of that weight. And then again, level 3, if you want to, you can go down into full splits. Then inhaling, bringing that leg back and into downward facing dog, pedaling out your legs. Okay, so that's the first 2. Right, so the next one we're going to do is we've already done this. So legs out to the side into a straddle, feet pointing up to the sky. Actually, we've done a standing version of this, actually. Okay. Now, I want your back to be straight and not rounded. If there's any curving in your back, then I want you to sit on something to give yourself a bit of height. So your pelvis should not be tilting back. It should be upright. Okay? So, and hands just rest onto your legs. Feet pointing up to the ceiling. So that's the first position. If you want a bit more stretch, and this solely depends on your back, I want you to keep your back flat and come forward. Just walking your fingertips forward. Okay? Looking up. Keep looking up. That helps to keep your back straight. And then if you want a bit more, then just come all the way down and bring your forehead onto the floor. So that's the third position. Right, so the next one is a seal pose. So if you want to come onto your front, and your legs, your feet are out towards the outside of the mat. So your feet are apart. And then your arms, your elbows go underneath your shoulders and your hands go out. So you're literally like a seal. Okay? And you push up through your elbows, pulling your chest forward. So you're pulling your hands and your lower arms back towards you, so that you're actually pulling your chest through between your arms. So that's the level one. If your back can take it, then you can straighten your arms and just walk your arms back to wherever's comfortable, but keeping the front of your pelvis on the ground. Now, if you're very flexible, then the full pose involves bending your knees and bringing your feet up to your head. Not an option for me. Okay, so that's the fourth pose that I want you to photograph. So just lower yourself back down. Okay. The next one is a bridge. So if you want to come onto your back, okay. So I want you to bend your knees and your feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Knees, when you move, I don't want your knees to go out or in even. I want them to stay parallel. And then pushing down with your feet, just gently tilt your pelvis upwards towards the sky and roll your back off the floor. Okay? Palms down on the ground and just push up. If you want to do a little bit more, then you need to come up onto your triceps. So you grab your hands, palms together, interlock your fingers, and just roll up onto your shoulders. Okay? And as you're breathing in, just push that chest up. Push with your feet. And then the third level, if you've got it in your practice, is the full wheel. And if you've got that, then I don't need to explain it to you. Oh. So bringing your back down onto the floor, knees together, feet apart. Just relax there for a moment. Then the last pose, you're going to need your strap, probably. So if you want to lie on your back, take your left foot onto the floor, bring your right leg up, straight up, and just take your hands behind your thigh. Okay, so that's your level one. Your level two, straighten that left leg, engage it, foot pointing up to the sky. Okay, and then taking your strap over your foot, right foot, and gently pulling it towards you. Okay, and then taking the strap into your, actually no, we'll just leave it at that one. If you're really flexible, then the third level is to take your foot all the way back over your head. We'll not be doing that today. Okay, so release your foot, take your leg back down to the ground. Okay, and bringing yourself back up. Okay, so that's those 6 poses, and what I'm going to do is I'll put that lesson up. I've got some sheets here with the poses on, so I'll get those copied and sent over to you as well, so that you've got hopefully a good enough reference. Okay, so if you'd like to just take a lie down, back down on your back, bringing your feet to the floor, bend your knees, and then take your knees into your chest and give them a little bit of a hug. So circle your knees, give yourself a little back massage on the rug, on the mat, and change direction. And then taking your arms out to each side at shoulder height with the palms up, just drop your knees and do a twist down towards the right armpit and look over to the left. I want you to breathe in through your nose for 4 and out through your mouth for 8. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In. Carry on 2 more rounds in your own head. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Then on your next inhale, bringing your knees up to center. And then as you exhale, let them drop down towards your left armpit, looking over to the right. I want you to do 4 4-8 breaths. In through the nose for 4 and out through the mouth for 8. And then on your next inhale, bringing your knees back to center, hugging your knees, circling your knees, reverse direction, and then dropping your feet to the mat, soles of your feet together, and let your knees just drop out. And if it's comfortable for your shoulders, take your arms up overhead and hold your elbows. And I want you to do 4 sets of 4-8 breaths here. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more rounds. And then using your hands to the outside of your legs, just to help to lift your knees back up, stretch your legs out, let your feet flop out to the outside. We'll just take a few moments in our final relaxation. So just give yourself a bit of a body scan, starting with your toes and your feet, calf muscles, and then your hamstrings and your quads and your knees. Just make sure they're all relaxed. The glutes. Relax your belly. Relax your chest. Feel your back on the earth and just let your shoulders drop. Relax your arms and your fingers and your hands. Just roll your head to the right. Roll your head to the left. Back to center. Just momentarily bringing your chin up towards your chest, lifting your head. Relax your head back down. Check your jaw and your tongue are relaxed, tongue just resting in the bottom of your mouth. Check your forehead and all the little muscles around your eyes. And just sink. Okay, if you want to wiggle your fingers and toes, arms overhead, give yourself a really good stretch. Rolling over onto your right hand side, bending your legs and using your right arm as a pillow. Just take a breath here. And then slowly, keeping your eyes closed, coming back up into a comfortable seated position. Hands relaxed on your thighs or your knees. Palms together, the heel of your hand into your chest. Bow your head. Slowly open your eyes. Release your hands and bring your head back up. Thank you, everyone. I shall come and see you all. You can unmute yourselves now. Hello.
Hello, lovely, thank you.
Oh, that was great. Thank you.
So I'll post that stuff on the WhatsApp group.
Lovely.
And I shall look forward to seeing your homework.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry about Monday, by the way, guys. I should have. My plan was to, because it was quite early that he was competing. And my plan was to come back in time to teach, but it became obvious that that wasn't going to be able to happen. So
he did well.
I'm sorry.
He did well.
Yeah, he was really good actually. Yeah, he double cleared, so that's the main thing. He did a better dressage than he does. So yeah, that's it for this season for him. He was a little bit tired, so he's supposed to do one more competition, but we've decided to leave it because he's only a baby and he's done quite a lot in quite a short period of time. So he can have a little rest, and then we're going to show jump him over the winter. So,
Good.
Wow. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Did you ride, Amelia, or did you just
No, I'm not riding at the moment. Because, well,
Yeah.
because of Steve, really, because he can't drive or anything, and so if I go and hurt myself, then we'd be a bit stuck. So I'll start riding again.
Yeah.
He's more mobile.
So how is Steve? How
And
do you
he's okay.
and can he drive and stuff?
He's doing really, really well. I think he's got another 2 weeks until he's seeing the surgeon, so I'm hoping that he might be able to drive then. But even though he's got an automatic, it's his right one, so I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll have to see what they say. I mean, he
Yeah.
feels like he'll be able to drive, so yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Fabulous.
Mm.
And what
Oh,
about the
he's
house?
on the mend.
On that?
Sorry.
Had any movement on the house?
Well, we've had somebody to view today, but they want to build, so I don't think they get planning myself. But anyway, we'll see.
What happened to the helicopter man?
Well, it was for his daughter, and
Yeah.
she's got multiple sclerosis, so I think he just felt like the whole place would be too much. I'm sure it would have been. I mean, she wasn't even horsey, she just quite liked the place, I think.
Oh,
How nice.
Yeah. So anyway, I think they've decided to spend some money on the place where they are now instead. So on
okay.
Friday, depends where I'm up to. I'm doing a teacher training 25-hour at the moment on gravity yoga, and I've got to do a live class and record it for my final. So depending on where I'm up to, I might do that with you. So that's very much to do with flexibility, basically. So long holds. I have done.
We better practice then.
Yeah. Sorry.
We better practice then, teacher.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
With our flexibility.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It doesn't matter whether we're flexible enough. It's just my teaching. That's all they're bothered about. So.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty.
I'll maybe have a little.
Okay, so see you Friday then.
Well, the actual thing I have to present, even though I have to plan a 60-minute class, I only have to do 20 minutes. They only want 20 minutes because they've got hundreds to look through. So what I might do is do it a couple of times so that you can get the feel for it. But anyway, we'll see. I might not be at that stage by then anyway. So see.
If you want to practice 20 minutes worth, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Even if it's the one that you use.
Yeah.
At least you do 20 minutes worth of practice.
Yes,
when you do
true. Yeah. Because it is quite different. The language and everything's quite different. So
yeah.
anyway.
Well, you can always have a dry run then, can't you? And then do it again on Monday or something.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be in on Sunday night.
Oh, right. Oh.
Oh, so you have to do it over the weekend.
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
that might be an option. I've already said to Emma that I might need to grab her.
Yeah.
Just let know.
Let us know if you are around.
If you need any help, just let us know.
All right, brilliant. Thank you. I'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you. Lovely to see you all. See you soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Have a good day.
You too.